and equally, it's a significantly profitable deal. So the valuation of the business was more than double that we acquired the business at 4.5 years ago. So it makes for a terrific deal from all sides, basically.
Hello, you're watching Proactive. I'm joined by Creo Medical CEO Craig Gulliford. Craig, it's been a while since we've chatted, and since then you've come out with your full year 2024 trading update, and you do note a strong performance from your Creo core technology platform in 2024. Take us through some of the highlights of the year.
Yes, I think the key highlights for the year is strong growth on the core product, which is we launched in earnest in 2022. Continue to see that growth, in particular through the US office running the America side of the business. We've had some really exciting growth and expansion of the product range with the Speedboat Ultra Slim device that we launched towards the end of 2023, but we got the benefit of that during the course of last year. And just the ongoing development of the product range and its utilization with increasing new indications, as well as just driving the pipeline growth through our business in the US and in Europe through the direct business, which was Creo Medical Europe. And then, so we're just seeing strong growth and strong trends. We also had the first use of the Spider Blade product towards the end of last year. So that's part of a limited market release. So that'll be part of a formal launch process during the course of 2025 with about 5 new products which we'll be launching over the course of the next 12 to 18 months. So we're feeling very buoyant about the continued growth in the development of the commercialization of the business. We're moving from being a development stage business into a commercial profitable business. And that's helped by the growth, but also helped by cost management as some of the development projects have come to a conclusion. Those key products that are foundational for the core product range are largely done, as well as the platform that we need for our Comaptive and the partnership development business that's going really well.
And you do point out in the RNS, Craig, that the full benefit of those cost reductions will really be seen this financial year.
Yeah, so on a run rate of at least 5 million a year, we'll be coming off our cost base going into this year. So that was towards the end of last year as those projects came off. And that we'll see that continue through the course of this year as we're obviously focusing on revenue growth and cost management moving forwards. But as I say, a lot of those foundational projects are done. The development work is done. And we're already seeing the fruits of some of the development work that we're doing with some of our partners, which is just making for a more cost-effective development now as we move into alternative renditions of our technology, which will help our core revenues.
Craig, you also announced a big transaction last October, and that was completed in February, and that was for your Creo Medical Consumables Europe business. You've sold a 51% interest to Microtech. That was a 30 million euro deal. Take us through the rationale for that and the way forward.
So the deal when we acquired the original Creo Medical Europe business about 4.5 years ago, we acquired that for just under 30 million euros. We've now sold a 51% stake of that as part of a strategic transaction with Microtech. That secures a long-term supply chain, secures the brand Creo Medical Europe in Europe through our direct channel. We still get access to Lewis, who will retain his role as CEO of the business moving forward. But we also get access to the existing customers that we check, which is the fundamental reason why we acquired the business in the first place. And since we acquired the business, our goal with Lewis has been to enhance the supply chain, provide security of that supply chain. And this materially improves the outlook with strong support from Microtech for the Creo Medical brand in Europe. But what the products that we sell in Europe will also be able to sell through our Americas business as well as elsewhere, which will add strategic benefit to the development of our core business and the complementary products. So it's a terrific deal. And equally, it's a significantly profitable deal. So the valuation of the business was more than double that we acquired the business at 4.5 years ago. So it makes for a terrific deal from all sides, basically.
And it's also boosted your cash reserves heading into 2025. So how will you use that to grow the other sides of the business, Craig?
So that will be used to continue to develop the sales in Europe and the US and our sort of distribution channel, particularly in South America and some of those markets in Asia where we've been developing them to date. There's a degree of those funds, but not as significantly as in the past, that will go towards new product launches. Not the foundational technology, but the application of that into some really interesting new devices that we're looking forward to launching over the course of the next 12 months or so, which really leverage our position as a leading player in provision of advanced energy for flexible endoscopy and the markets that we're operating in. But also we continue to drive the development of the business with our partners Intuitive on the Comaptive side of the business, where last year we had the first ever robotically guided lung tumor ablation, which was super exciting at the beginning of the year. But that's followed through with a change in that arrangement with Intuitive as we move to post-market cases and development of the business, with the announcement of the first of those sites a few months ago, which will start to drive the commercialization phase of that business with Intuitive, which again is super exciting.
And Craig, the sorts of milestones your investors should be looking out for in 2025?
So we've got some interesting product launches coming up with some derivatives of the Speedboat products. And as I said before, the Spiderblade products. We expect to see some additional sites coming through on the Comaptive side of the business, and the continued growth and rollout of products as we move through the next 9 months. But it's just really back to the business, back to the grindstone. We've got to drive the revenue growth that we see, the trends continuing to see strong growth in the core product over the next 12 months.
I hope you'll keep us updated on any progress with that. Thank you very much for speaking with us today.
Okay, no problem. Thanks very much.
That's Craig Galliford, the CEO of Creo Medical.